everybody to our State Street Master Plan Cottage meeting or information meeting. So I'm David Spencer, I'm on the Orem City Council, and it's going to be an open dialogue or open forum. So we'll have microphones up front, and then you can ask anybody questions, and I'll bring the mic around, and then we'll let the mayor start if you have any questions for the mayor.
Thank you, Mr. White.
Oh, one thing, the reason why I have this light on is Coco Nut is a new restaurant, an island grill on 1600 North. It's like Movetta's, but it's really cool, so you need to check it out. So go tomorrow and help them out.
We have 2 new businesses there starting up, and another one built up right next to it as a parfait business, and I recommend that you give it a try. What we would like to start out with is we'd like to, if Dave can pass out the microphone, we'd like to have you make comments rather than me answer questions or Dave answer questions, or that we go over the plan. We would just like to hear your comments first. Once everyone's had a chance to make a comment, then we'll be happy to do a question and answer. So let's go ahead, and I like, after you're done, we'd like all these people here to have a chance to even want to make a comment.
It's good seeing you again, Mayor.
Good to see you.
Family, okay?
Yes,
Okay.
yes.
So I just have a couple questions. I have a business on State Street. It's a nightmare to get in and out of. We've lived here for 36 years.
What is the business?
Wasatch Laminate, it's cabinet manufacturing. So, you know, I'm on State Street all the time. I love the idea of the trees, walkable areas, things like that. The issue I have is why do we need to have the other 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 stories of apartments coming in? How does that equate to having revenue to increase you know, the infrastructure of the city, staffing for emergency services, other services? I don't see why we need to burden this corridor with such a heavy population when we're here because we like this area. Have the numbers been run where all of that money is going to come from? Because it's been staggeringly low. You've been helping. Our city council is changing that. Where does the money come to support?
So I can answer that, but I don't want to answer it now. I'll answer it later. So I'd like everyone to have a chance to make a comment first. So and I'd like to hear from each one of you.
Mayor, you authorized a 350-unit, 6-story apartment building 60 feet from my house. No more high-density housing. No more high-density housing. No more high-density housing.
Did it do any good for him to talk?
I would like to give all of you an opportunity to make a comment first, and then I'll be happy to answer questions later.
It's already been rubber stamped. It had.
Go ahead.
Mr. Mayor, I have been a resident for 67 years here in Orem. I've grown up when this was a little tiny farming community, orchards, and we like how it's been. The people that have come in have been great. However, if we wanted to be in a big city, we wouldn't be here. And I'm concerned. I still have a few fruit trees. I've got about 20 trees. I used to have 10 acres. And we had a water shortage this year that we were cut back. How is high-density housing going to be able to even function with the water situation we have here in the West? We don't need a bunch of other high-density buildings. We need families to come in and businesses to come in that are going to be able to add to what we've got, not more housing that's like this. There are other places. You can go other places in Utah and put all this high-density housing. Out of the point of the mountain, southward, there are places out there that are wide open that you could add that if you want to. But I don't know here in the West, especially in Utah right now, I don't know how you're going to handle traffic. I don't know how you're going to handle the water situation. And frankly, every one of these high-density places has increased crime, and I'm very concerned, and the traffic is atrocious. I live on 400 West in Orem. There are some times in the day I cannot get out of my house, out of the driveway, because there are too many cars on the road. And this is in a residential area. And then you bring in a 6-story high-rise that's gonna be right up next to Fourth West. I don't know how I'm gonna get out of the house.
Okay, thank you. Who else? Anybody?
So the master plan, page 45 or 46, somewhere in there, adds an additional 9,000 residential units on State Street over the 5 districts, these maps we have here. In order to make that happen, you're going to need probably the equivalent of 2 or 3 Midtown 360s in each of these areas. I'm curious, why do we need to change Orem from a suburban city into more of a big city like New York or Chicago or Los Angeles? I don't get that.
My name is Jim Laney. I have True Religion Pancake and Steakhouse. I'm in Midtown 360. And I just have a different perspective. I appreciate everybody's perspective because I like to listen. And we have a very successful little business because I listen. I have 60 employees and I'm only open 6 hours a day, and it's a very difficult business. But money goes where it's treated best. I left Colorado. I sold everything I had there after 4 decades of business. And the reason I came to Orem, of all places, is I had chit-chats with some very influential people. And they said, do you realize out of 3,000 counties in the United States of America, that this county in Utah always is in the top 5 if it's not number 1 or number 2 for business? This is outrageous, you guys. The reason that people are coming here is we have 2 fabulous universities within 5 miles of each other. And unfortunately,